dai chegure na lo share boyo.
To develop your career in oil and gas sector and technology, Global Institute of Petroleum Studies and Technology is here for you. Located Kampala Entebbe Road, a private institute registered by Technical Vocational Education Teaching under the Ministry of Transport and affiliated to Makerere University by City and Guilds. We have a good experience in oil and gas sector and technology. In Agro Intake, we have certificate and diploma courses in the following courses: certificate and diploma in upstream and downstream petroleum operations, automotive mechanics, air conditioning and refrigeration, civil engineering, welding and fabrication, occupational health and safety, mechanical engineering, diploma in electronic and electrical engineering, among others. All the available courses are internationally recognized. For certificates, one must have obtained all credits and passes in O level or its equivalents. For diploma, one must have obtained principal pass and 2 subsidiaries in A level or its equivalents. For more information, contact 0771 665 214 or 0750 423 327. Global Institute of Petroleum Studies and Technology, Kampala. So ready, the king is back. Yes, get ready to laugh. This Easter Sunday at Hyde Park Soroti, because Uganda's #1 stand-up comedian who comes from Teso is coming back to break your ribs without fear or favor. Napoleon Emma returns for the 3rd season of his one-man show, The King Comes Home, and this time he's escorted by the hottest new kid in comedy, Dr. Hilary Okello, and the legendary Teacher Pamire. And for the first time, an international comedian, the funniest comedian from Botswana, Kapelo Malani. This is the Sunday on the 31st of March 2024 at Hyde Park Soroti. Entrance is just 10k ordinary, 20k VIP, and 300k for a table of 6. Gates open at 6 p.m. The King Comes Home is powered by Astona General Hardware, Coral Hotels, Teso Juice, Teju, La Brand Lounge, Lady Tisha Events, Equity Bank Soroti, and Uganda Warranty. Come let's laugh all night long with guaranteed security and family entertainment.
Eraina polo noi ijoda duchai muri akeda nyamatalwa jijim ko site ma ipoite teke da kinyete na ka 14 buto nyamatalwa pola jijim bali konyari je bokoriti ya kireta mulane tai 14 buto nese jasi keda vitamin A ebuni ko size nduka mililita za kaisara lokan akaisakan akwatare toneli kumit nyamatalwa Bokara adoketaiti na kokuju raina kinyetene limoro ko Uganda noi ido ko jayo duka ika supermarkets li ya piototorijo 14 buto nesitolo meteluko Bidco Uganda Limited.
Neja saduko keda no ipurasadu ebi ye mutolo ejoga kaduta unomros kameja sinuka prostela duya ile jas kwa na kesi keda iborolo adu kwe gogong iboyete otomotia isine nuda itidishare taijokan iboro kwa pena tesimit abatin aswani bubeta solia netogo ewaya mesh holo section ms plate usodi sumalin otomabila sineno egirigeta oduma kesi market street eidunyi kede white gold haraba tegrede cage neja ida Agakan House Donye kede Liberty Loy, Orai Juma by Road, Arabai no mesimu, Koto Monambai, Enoti Kanyari wongone noti, Enoti Kanyari, Enoti Kanyangon, Haraboto ma email, info@apolosteel.co.
Presents by the best panelists in the land. This is informative, educative, social, economical, political, and fun. Get to know the truth and nothing else. This is Fix the Nation on 87.6 TBS. Powered by Jerusalem Institute of Health Sciences Leader. In 2024, in addition to our existing medical courses, we are also proud to announce the introduction of higher education access certificate programs in Higher Education Access Certificate, Physical Sciences for engineering students, Higher Education Access Certificate, Biological Sciences for medical students. To join us, pick admission from all our pickup stations across the country. For those in Teso Sub-region, pick admissions at TBS radio station, Jerusalem East of El Sciences leader. Trust God for better skills.
Number one means you're always on top. Your number one radio.
87.6 TBS Emmanuel Teso.
Ebo yalama lo muntu program 87.6 TBS the bull jaji kupokita program la Face the Nation egeu oni dada ikana karenga tiburos kotoma wangon kuna lo stetoni isawan ikanyape lo apara ido to studio dawa dumun Papa Benson ko chen bune ngarakino na mesekina krone jasine lo jay tamtam so dikini jay kite jakai pita lo chom dawnes da dolone kidare kit jakai Daniel Eigu so dikini jakai Bob Owin they are all kes kirada utose confirming bian baja bet kesa jay kinine ido kopukani da kandi soka wena rakina ngere jakai Bob balaba jangesa nyono kanisa jangesa ibatise kopu so mundo dolungi za toma pack jakai Daniel Eigu his number is off. I don't know what has happened or power issues. But today, I want first of all to say congratulations to the people of Katakwi. I am informed that the hospital, the construction, we are going to have the first of its kind in Teso, the specialized hospital. I think the construction is going to begin around September, or within September to December, but live information tells me that around September. I don't know if Papa, you have also got that information. I'm informed that around September, and it will treat its first patient, I think, before 2020, before the election or during when we are entering into that election period. After completion of infrastructure, I mean construction, the equipment will be shipped from the US, I think, in 1 month's time, and the hospital will start operation. So congratulations to the people of Katakwi and the people of Teso and the Luengo at the same time. Yalamano, because these facilities are going to start working in the same period of time. I mean construction and then installation of machines. Kota sikonyono jo lolo ijai apesikini jo arabana taita matama kirolo kamana rakeden ak iplani lo dadau ministry of finance ali mod bonebe kotos kesi aitubu budget lo parliament by 50%, and currently a budget law parliament of Uganda is 945.5 billion shillings. It increased by 30 billion, so meaning previously it was 915.5 billion shillings. So it increased by 30 billion. That was in the previous year. That is 2022, 2023, 2024. We have 945 billion. So when it is cut by 50%, it will come to 300, not 300, but 400 and something billion.
405.5.
Yes, that is like the figure there for you, 400 and something billion. So to make us understand this topic very well, I have Papa Benson Ekwe. He works, or is executive director for Public Affairs Center of Uganda. We all know that they do issues of advocacy, policy, good governance, among others, and accountability. Then I have Mr. Peter Lochom. He's a policy analyst. He understands more of policy. He has also done enough research in terms of finance. And we expect to be joined by Bob Owin, the LOC5 councillor for Soroti District, who has informed me that he was in a church baptizing the kid, but is going to join us. Then we expect to be joined by Daniel Eigu. By yesterday's evening, he had confirmed that he was going to attend this show. Daniel Eigu is the FDC chairperson for Soroti District and also a former MP candidate for Soroti County. He usually jokes that he's the shadow MP for Soroti County. You can join the discussion via our frequency modulation, that is 87.6 TBS The Bull, or you can also watch it live via Teso News Network on YouTube. You can go and search for Teso News Network on YouTube and follow the discussion live. I have had complaints from people asking why the show is not always live, but I think I am trying to get a solution to your problem. So you can also watch it if you're far from Teso. You can follow the discussion on Teso News Network, that's on YouTube. And then you can later on share your views on 774-773-9180-200-926-333 on SMS. And I want to kickstart the discussion by welcoming my team. You're most welcome to the Bull. I think it's 1 week down the road. You have not been here. I think either it became so busy or the schedule was so tight, or you also disappeared. You feared to come. I don't know.
I was actually wondering why you chucked me. But thank you once again, my brother John Success Ogley. I want to thank the management of Teso Broadcasting Service for inviting us here to come and debate, discuss issues that concern us. I was in Katakwi when we were sending off the mother-in-law of my chairman of Eteme Teso, the Reverend Dr. Bishop Charles Bernard Bitro Baikwala, and mother to the former mayor of the city of the municipality of Soroti, the Honorable Alfred Aruo, and the Vice President, Her Excellency, retired Major Jessica Lupo, was the chief mourner. We arrived a bit late because we went after a talk show again, but we found her speaking, and indeed we had her make the pronouncement when she said the President of Uganda, I think, has already finalized the document or signed the document that is going to enable Uganda to establish 2 hospitals of international standards, according to her speech that day.
Yep.
We are going to have 2 hospitals in Uganda with international standards, such that we shall not be again flying out for specialized treatment. And she said those hospitals have been slated for 2 regions. I think they're dividing the country into half. The other hospital is going to be in Rwengo. Rwengo is one of the districts as you exit Uganda, now going into Ankole. And the other hospital is going to be in Katakwi to represent the entire greater north of this country. It's exciting if you are telling us now that it's as soon as that by September the construction will begin and they will read their patient before the next election. You can be sure it's political in my own analysis for now, because it is not the first time we have had such pronouncements. John Success, you are aware that this country released billions, I think 300 billion or more, for the construction of a specialized hospital, the only one of its kind that was going to be in this country, and that was in Lubowa. Lubowa is in central Uganda, or in Buganda, to be specific. Some lady called Pineti, I think, was the private implementer who was going to construct for us this hospital.
Okay.
But our money was given to her to construct for us that hospital. It is funny in Uganda that investors come with an idea, and for us, we finance the idea. But from the time that money was released, Ugandans don't know the progress of the construction of that hospital. Even the Parliament of Uganda, that is empowered actually to monitor government programs, when the members of Parliament went to the site where that hospital is said to be constructed, they were denied access by armed people who told them they don't have the permission to access the facility that was being put up. But having released all the 300 billion plus, the foundation has never taken off. I think some people managed to use some technology to take a picture of where the hospital is supposed to be. It has never taken off. It is still at foundation level.
Okay.
Even after releasing all the 300 billion.
Okay.
It's going to be indeed a political miracle for the Rwengo and Katakwi hospitals to kickstart construction by September and treat their first patient before the next election, even given the economic situation we have in the country you have had, including what we are going to discuss today. Government wants to cut parliament budget by 50%, which means we are not doing very well. But if those hospitals come up within that time that has been stipulated.
Okay, thank you so much. The construction of the hospital, according to President Museveni's letter, is going to that is the company that is going to take this hospital is is a donation from the US-based partners, and according to President Museveni's letter dated the 1st of February 2024. And in his letter copied to the Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Aceng, and then Finance Minister Matia Kasaija, and copied to the Vice President, Prime Minister, Permanent Secretary, to the, and then the Permanent Secretary, Office of Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Permanent Secretary, and Secretary to the Treasury. President Museveni said he got this letter, he got a request from a US-based allies to construct 2 fully equipped and specialized hospitals in Katapi and Gwengo. According to Museveni, the 2 districts lack adequate health services for specialized treatment of key non-communicable diseases. The facility, the group that President Museveni in his letter has said is called Advanced Electronics Systems International, and they are operating under the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and but they also have offices in the US, and it is headed by Javed Hussein. I want to bring in
Thank God it's not the UPD of engineering going ahead.
No, we don't know who is going to take over the construction, but the finance is going to come from that is Advanced Electronic Systems International. I want to bring in Papa Benson. Papa Benson, you're most welcome to the Bull. For like you're taking like 1.5 weeks.
I don't know why.
Yeah, decided to check all of us.
Yeah, but you know. So alama no atekera bunere. It's interesting. Yakoto ngagea onikede na dekis. I had a discussion with a key official for Katakwi. You know, the matters of Teso are in my heart. Last week, someone asked me, Benson, why are you not in Bukedia to celebrate the launch of
specialized hospital? That is teaching hospital.
My answer was simple, that I don't celebrate personal achievements of leaders. I don't. I only celebrate Ibori and I advocacy for the public
community.
Because when I vote for a leader, I expect you to use, especially at the level, I expect leaders to use policy actions to solve people's problems. Policy and programmatic actions in nature. And I told this person, that's why President Museveni, for example, he has never openly launched his ranch. I've never seen where he called people. He's a personal
ranches.
He's a ranches. Even easy. You tell me any of those guys, I put so that I launching, so that I talk about a barakwa and a so that I so that one I said those are personal achievements of leaders. Probably it shows us politics is more profitable than business. Because before one became a politician, those things were not there. Before you became, and now, and it is true, so many have even opened the shops, so many have built. There's a minister for education, state minister for education, he has over 60 schools. So me, I don't celebrate those ones. Those are personal initiatives. I think why I could. But if there is anything which can make me celebrate, is this one. And I think that's what I expect of leaders. You do your personal things. That one is okay. Build your private school, put up your private hospital. That's, I have no issues there. As long as you got it genuinely, we shall say, but what excites me is this one. I talked to the DHO himself, and he was briefing me that those doctors will be with them for 1 year, training our local doctors. You remember the 5 things we talked, strategic things Teso needs and Apollo. One of them is human capital, what? Development. Under Dumini period, Tino Teso. So, Balanesi Bonebe, Potito Angunu, down at Dexing and I do, down at Tungune carried dope, Imuketa on it. Ituto no telu ok. o swete ba ngarakin ke sida ikon o seriko na yare kini e daute bi karu yare itolosho operations online ijenyo jo ite pilo ititakai obuke change na ite ba mam mami wadarte kume kwa yin
Uchita more thing tell me wingi.
You know why I'm excited? Tesla has missed a lot of opportunities. Adexin or Matany was supposed to be in Katakwi, in Orungo. That was way back in 1960s.
Yeah.
Koni leaders, some leaders by then also said Akosilupok, and they refused. Tororo Girls was supposed to be in Achumbala. Iloto joka kwa na Tororo Girls. Idwelo teso ikota hii.
Ilele basi.
Rakwa no na igwapa.
Stadium la beta jotos.
Even a stadium. So ipuiboro. Konye now I'm that's why I thank the team lo Katakwi and the leadership, and I think I applauded the vice president. I think for instead of putting up a private facility like a teaching hospital, she preferred it to see how the region can benefit from that.
Okay.
I think I applauded that one.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So I think that is good, and I would like to all other leaders to borrow relief. I was just struggling serving the public. You cannot use personalized approach to public service.
Okay.
There's what I call the democracy stool. A democracy stool is just akeja uni. Akeja dope nesengare noko. Akeja na yare kini nesi institutions. Apeteta ngune peskino na angara kina ngare no na jana kana teke. Kwa pena tekwa na lubobo winyine a council. Nesi ngara ines uses a council.
Okay.
Akeja na unie nesa na peta programs, laws, ikisela luingara inete. So you need to, instead of resorting to personalized approach as a main thrust of serving people, you use policy actions, you use programmatic actions, you use especially via key positions of leadership.
Okay.
We expect you to drive us using policy action. And I think I commend that because he also told me when by September, and by the end of 2025, towards 2026, the structural developments will have been finished, and then the hospital. And for me, that is very commendable. Now I'm encouraging people. The local non-dag, you see such a hospital, think of putting up a nice hotel there in Katakwi. That's what I talked about, strategic investments.
Okay, thank you so much.
You can see that one investment can attract many others. You may need to put up a nice hotel. You may need to put up, you see how Nairobi has grown because of those hospitals we go. Where do you think he went to stay?
Okay, Senyon, yes.
Joel. You see, so that place will attract, and I want people to open eyes. This is the time to invest. You see, Carrier Africana Hotel Moroto. And whenever minerals are being seen, rushed there. Now there are only 3 serious hotels there, and another one, of course, coming up. So this is the time. I think for me, this is quite a positive development for this region. And I'm very sure Honorable Alupo will leave a mark.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's go for a commercial break.
Through an action, try to push for that. I think to me, I commend leaders who use policy actions and programmatic actions to solve people's problems, other than those who focus on personalized approaches to solve problems.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's go for a commercial break. When we bounce back, we shall kickstart the discussion here on radio. We have been joined by Jakati Bobo Win here in studio. Abuela Nasi Bonguni.
It's your professor. You see,
That's how you encourage.
But I think
encourage
that
them.
decision was made at that high level. Since the donation is on 2 hospitals.
Yeah.
Acha haki na kwa kurana. I
Yeah.
said I'm not kidding.
It could have gone to Busoga.
Yeah, of course Katapi. International. Of all the districts we have in the country, Katapi
They will
still has
do
enough
high
space for
class.
planning.
That is strategic.
Yeah.
And it's a benefit to all of us.
Yeah.
So I'm asking right now tell someone. Actually, Agaro Ginger don't know that. For the
Kere,
for the
because the
No,
whole
but even this hospital, see the Fistula Hospital, this specialized hospital.
Till the third in
There are only
Africa.
3 in Africa. One in Pretoria, South Africa. The second in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The third is in here in Soroti. Africa, Kere. Only that.
all these are not for government. Non-government.
And he says this one immediately after what they hand it over to the state.
yes, after 1 year. 1 year or 2 years. Let me check this letter here.
Yeah, a donation will work.
You know, with them, no monomoji twen.
And I know
Why
that
don't I call the
the
Keuni?
Americans will not release their money, but that the Uganda government does it. They are going to do it by themselves.
If you give
The
them
money came through Islamic Development Bank,
Also,
and it is not it's not even a loan.
it's a grant. It's a grant.
The hospital will serve a training centers for young Ugandan doctors and medical workers in modern healthcare systems and equipment usage. 1 year with the staff salaries.
But you've not produced yet.
Number 1 news, you're always on top. Your number 1 radio.
87.6
trending on social media.
TBS Emwango Teso.
Ebo yalmano ateker habong notoma agwel narangin. Now I want to go straight to the discussion. We all know that currently the Speaker of Parliament has shown her displeasure with that is the decision by the Ministry of Finance to announce that they want budget. They want to cut Parliament's budget by a half. According to her, this is not a good issue. And she says that how will we as Parliament operate if this budget is cut? And she wants at least Minister of Finance to think otherwise, because several MPs have also protested this move, and really I don't know how this is coming on board at this time, because the Speaker said this is disrespectful, humiliating, and demeaning to the legislator. She wondered how the House was to run its business with such funding cuts. Our deduction by 50% shall we be paid salary? She asked. She also said that you even have the courtesy to put in bold on a statutory vote that Parliament shouldn't get money. We all know that that is Mr. Ramadan Gobi appeared on NBS TV and made such a statement that the budget cuts were going to be effected. The President Museveni is about or is going to make a statement. We all know that whatever comes from the Minister of Finance, we all know that the overall head of Minister of Finance for Uganda is President Museveni. This must have been a discussion they had in closed doors. I'm also told that this matter was discussed in the cabinet, and the cabinet gave a nod. So I want to kickstart the discussion by bringing in Papa Benson Ekwe. What are some of the potential implications of slashing Parliament's budget by a half? And also make us understand what laws give Parliament or give Finance Ministry or government or President Museveni powers to dictate on the salaries that are paid to pay to all workers in Uganda, including those in the Parliament.
I think I will be mixing at this one. This is a very technical subject. Like according to 1 I don't want us to lose. What is the genesis to that?
Yes.
The genesis is the recent, what they call parliamentary exhibition. Which shows massive wastage of public resources in Parliament under the nose of the Speaker. And actually, it is even touching when you look at what was issued. And I remember the leader of opposition confirmed the documents which were in social media. He said given his position, those documents were truthful. They were authentic. And if you looked at the issues of Toromontayanen, there were many allegations. One was that the own radio of the speaker was given 3-point-something billion to promote parliamentary matters. And the people who signed were her personal assistants. And the money, and then you see, when you looked at the releases, it showed several misuse and actual abuse of resources within the parliament. So it is that which prompted the they are swimming in money. They are swimming in money. So me, that is one thing. It denotes the executive now is coming in to use, all about our finances is an article, chapter 9 of our constitution. It talks about that. We shall go to that. So that is one thing about Takanibale Jaibore. To me, the other thing, Parliament has also failed its oversight. If you look at the appropriation, how do you appropriate 2.9 billion for inspection of Luboa, which is not even working? To me, there is more wastage in the executive. There's more wastage in State House. There's more wastage. And it begins with appropriation. Now, why do you give State House 117 billion donations? 137 billion donations. And there's no law on donations. There's no policy to guide the donations. I can do whatever I want. And now that is wastage. Parliament only got 5-point-something billion donations. The office of the speaker, 2.9 billion. The office of the deputy speaker, 1.9 billion. That's around 4 billion. Office of the prime minister is located at 5 billion donations. Nabanja can do whatever she wants with the 5 billion. You see, that is, for me, they should be focusing on not just parliament alone. Those are the loopholes. How do you provide the money for donations without a law, without a policy to guide it? So what happens? It does not even define how I account it. But I'm told that the deputy speaker was very careful with this. He was more careful. For him now, and he wants to use that fund. You write details, then he channels it, he gets the accountability and the accounts. My money, I go in a primary school. A contractor mutan and the district managed. Yeah? And so on. So I'm told, according to the source I have, that Taibwa is very, very, very wise. He used his own discretion to try to be more accountable. But the point is, there are many provisions in the budget which allow wastage. So when you look at the parliament, and especially the travel vote is also the most abused. So I think that's why the executive came in. But for me, the parliament also failed to watch the executive. They put a lot of money there. They did not scrutinize the budget properly. They did not do what? And now there's wastage, even in State House. 137 donations for what? The president has 1 million a day to buy clothes. For what? When this money here in the district cannot even budget for one classroom block in the whole year. What about the school money committee? What will it plan? And then you have somebody budgeting 1 million a day for the president's clothing. That is ridiculous. So now you are asking me when Bible I want us to go slowly. First of all, I have seen a lot of ulubalo. Somebody said the speaker should not be investigated. Where do they get that power? What and so on. And because I'm told the Auditor General has picked interest in scrutinizing deeply the expenditure of what? of parliament. We shall look into what he's saying about that. But I want us to tell people slowly. Let's read Principle of State number 26. It is very clear. When you read the 26, this is the objective, the national principle of governance. Ebalebe, all public offices shall be held in trust for the people. Point 2 of that principle. All persons placed in positions of leadership and responsibility shall, in their work, be answerable to the people. All people, it is not some. Accountability, Rai Jumula, Are Rai Jongai, Are Rai LOC1, Are Rai President, Are Rai Speaker, Are Rai Jonyo. The third point is more interesting. All lawful measures shall be taken to expose, combat, and eradicate corruption and abuse or misuse of power by those holding political and other public offices. So I had somebody saying, this is parliamentary body. Exhibitions are illegal. No. Ebalame, all lawful measures. The media has the power. You people in the media, you can, yours is to expose. Nesekotori holding a public office or chote. Then somebody even attempted to attach a receipt of what? Of Kampala Rotary Club, 455.
A donation to Zambia Hospital.
But it was for Kumi. That a pass. You see that? A mess. There's a total mess. People are swimming in public. So that's why I'm very wary of politicians who show a lot. I was discussing with somebody yesterday. It was amusing. He said that there is a group in Teso that is putting aside 17 billion. And they are fielding a candidate in every constituency in Teso. And for them, they are putting aside 17 billion.
What investment? What is the investment?
I mean, and if they are sponsoring. So that's why when you see leaders who pour money, when you see people who are using Isirigin, I mean, at least if you bring us a hospital like Katakwing in Nigeria, it's a grant. You facilitated and used your good office as a leader to attract a grant. That one, we give you a thank. But these guys, now you can now imagine somebody's taking 17 billion and they were discussing in a certain restaurant in Soroti. But don't worry, we are putting aside the 17. A bet is original and I never saw more so. Are you seeing that? So that's why we must now be monitoring where are people getting the money. So that's accountability. So, and then we in civil society, the media, Auditor General, the District Council, I'm happy you are here. I know better. Are you seeing that? Now, when you come to the powers, Article 154, Clause 1 says that it is only Parliament that can appropriate any money which is collected through taxation. Only Parliament. So it is therefore important for us to know that our Parliament has the power. If you read close, let me read it. No monies shall be withdrawn from the consolidated account except to meet expenditure charged on the fund by this constitution or by an act of Parliament. So that one gives the Parliament the power to scrutinize because it's still let me honest solo. A lost their account in a back I consider what account. Dodong and I connect in a rai. Elemune rakorai in a Parliament, akorai ninyo. So that is very clear. So Parliament scrutinizes and approves every budget. That's why I blame Parliament. Why do you locate a president 1 million to buy clothes? Or why do you approve it? because it is the president who prepares the budget and takes to them. Now, why do you approve 137 billion for donations when you know that money you could channel directly to serve the people? So here, Parliament. Now, when you read Article 155, it gives the president certain powers. Clause 2, 155 clause 2. The head of any self-accounting department, commission, or organization set up under this constitution shall cause to be submitted to the president at least 2 months before the end of each financial year estimates of administrative and development expenditure and estimates of revenue of its respective department, commission, or organization for the following year. So you see, that's where they get them. Even in Parliament, the Parliamentary Commission is the one who prepares the budget for Parliament. It also has to submit its estimates to who?
To the president.
To the president. 2 months. 2 months. Parliament does not just sit and say, no. It must be submitted like so you can imagine all Parliament is a self-accounting institution. There are many of them that are self-accounting, including Human Rights Commission, there are many others, including Electoral Commission. They self-account, including universities. Like now Makerere University, it's a self-accounting institution. So all these institutions are supposed to send their budget estimates to the president. So that's when you hear the president say, I will cut. They are the ones who will say, no, last year you wasted a lot. So you could better say lemon. And especially the travel vote and then donation vote and others. So that is what says, clause 3. The estimate prepared under clause 2 of this article shall be laid before Parliament by the President under clause 1 of this article without revision, but with any recommendation that the government may have on them. So you see, the thing goes. So Dumujo and Ebonebe, President has that prerogative. They are to do everything. Then, how is it monitored? Article 163 is about the Auditor General. The President 6, subject to clause 7 of this article, in performing his or her functions, the Auditor General shall not be under the direction or control of any personal authority. Then 7, the President may, acting in accordance with the advice of Cabinet, require the Auditor General to audit the accounts of anybody or organization referred to in clause 3. So now when you hear that the President is now asking the Auditor General to check on what is happening in the Parliament, these are checks and what? And balances. So for me, the core issue is the wastage of public resources. Both arms. So, and it seems for me, you wait, in the next few weeks, you might also see many things coming from Parliament on the executive. Yeah? That's the beauty for me. Ebala executive vichanchanete darajo. Achepa kosa bitingol a parliament de limor when we are humiliating us. A bait achepa kepanatema rebesi di chanchanete. And they are going to cut. But you know what amuses me is our parliament. How do you make a law which does not give you power to reduce the president's estimates by not more than 10%? If you look at the Budget Act, you can only reduce if the president submitted the budget to Parliament. Parliament can only adjust it by 10%.
Okay, Agwela Nasi, Ibongunit.
That's very dangerous. So now the guy can decide to put a budget by half Ojeni bone barale sa ya taenda. You can only add 10% of
connivance.
Yeah.
So this lady just went back to upgrade.
I know that woman.
Niso mata kede tu.
So my case I be rubure kete.
My,
Soroti El Center 3.
but she was also working.
Obuku.
She was also working with Dr.
So Mobuku.
Medical associates.
Where is she now?
I was graduating with medicine from
Episode 11, You see calls in this show.
At the times I pick, at the times I don't. It depends on how the panel takes.
Yeah. It's a sensitive issue that.
The callers must have voice say on this thing.
Yeah. So I think we let's give them more time.
MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited is regulated by the Bank of Uganda.
Number one means you're always on top. Your number one radio.
87.6 TPS Emwangulo Teso.
Indeed, it's 87.6 TBS FM, the Bull of Teso. Welcome back. We are still live on, that is TBS Radio 87.6 frequency modulation, and then also we are live on Teso News Network on YouTube. Parliament has since protested the plan by government to slash its budget by a half. The Augusty House is one of the government's institutions that operates a huge budget. The Parliament's budget has rapidly increased over years from 834 billion in the financial year 2021-2022 to over 900 billion. I told you 945.5 billion on this financial year. Now, Papa Benson, you are still giving us some insights on the laws, but I want to usher in Peter Lochom, then I will give you an opportunity later on. Peter, we also know that that is in 2023 August, government announced and told Ugandans to prepare for budget cuts. We all remember when when World Bank suspended loans to Uganda over the anti-gay law. The country's authorities dug in and asked the country to at least prepare for tough times ahead. And among the options that the government had to revise, or they were planning to revise, was our budget. That is a 52.7 trillion budget, and the negotiations came on board, and that discussion comes. Now we are not even a year. Actually, we are not a year after the withdrawal of the World Bank, and these tough times have started mounting and coming to us. How do you think this budgetary cut, or the cut in the budget for Parliament, is going to impact the effectiveness of parliamentary operations and its functions?
Thank you very much, my brother, James Success of Lay. In the first place, I want to wonder loudly, because from what we're discussing here, you've told us this statement was issued by the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance, who I think is also the Secretary to the Treasury. And it's a result of what was discussed in Cabinet. People who know how states are run, and seniors like Benson Ekwe, who is a governance expert, will tell you that there is a procedure of issuing such statements. And there is a rightful office or officer who is mandated to issue a statement like this one that has come up. My brother Bob, who is here in the studio with us, is a politician, and they are the policy makers for the district of Soroti. But they don't implement. The implementer is the chief administrative officer, with the people he works with under him. Now, for the chief administrative officer to go and declare the policy, that council is not known to have actually issued, I think it's sinister, and there's reason to suspect the motive. I don't understand why Ramadan Gobi is the one going on TV to say what is going to happen. Our policies in Uganda issued on TV before they are even discussed at levels where it's supposed to be. Because for cabinet to sit and come up with this kind of decision, the person who should be issuing this statement, perhaps on behalf of the president, is the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. It is strange that the permanent secretary is the one issuing this statement. That's where I want to begin from. But I want to say generally that there is a lot of dishonesty, a lot of connivance and conspiracy that is happening between the arms of government against the people of Uganda. And I want to suspect that these people are trying to divert the attention of Ugandans from the current dirty situation in the country, and as far as the handling of resources in this country is concerned. It's not long when we had disturbing news of the colossal amounts of money that have been squandered in our parliament of Uganda, courtesy of the parliamentary exhibition led by Dr. Spire Sentongo. Ugandans were shocked to wake up to the knowledge that colossal amounts of money in this country have actually been siphoned out of our national treasury or from our budgeted monies entrusted to the Parliament of Uganda. Disturbing amounts of money with a lot of what I would call incriminating evidence. How you actually see hundreds of millions of shillings being issued out, signed out for activities that are not understandable, that are not clear. You must have watched and heard the leader of opposition in a talk show on TV questioning the release of 3.15 billion to a rural radio station that to popularize the work of parliament. And then the people signing, just like Vincent was saying, the people signing for this money on behalf of the rest of the radio station are actually parliamentary staff. It's very disturbing. And so, at a moment like this, when now the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance, comes up to make a declaration that is disturbing to Parliament that they're going to cut their budget by 50%, Ugandans are wondering, including myself, is it a result of the wastage that has been revealed in Parliament recently? Or is it because of the biting economy, because of the serious shortfalls we have in the resources that we are supposed to use for running the country? And indeed, like you were asking, from the time World Bank and its associates made declarations as a result of the law that was passed here on anti-homosexuality, we have noticed that we are suffering seriously. I don't know whether civil servants have now been paid. At the end of last month, there was a statement issued that the salaries will delay because the resources are not there. There are many programs that are actually suffering because of lack of resources. And yet, like my elder was saying, there's a lot of abuse of our resources. These greedy men and women who have cocooned themselves into this, especially the two arms of government, are actually squandering a lot of taxpayers' money for useless ventures when the programs of government that are intended for service delivery are suffering. You had him mentioning the money that have been dished out for these officers to donate, which donations are not even clear, and he has rightly said they are not guided by any policy, no law guiding. If you are giving State House that colossal amount of money for a president just to donate at will, when he gets excited, then he dishes it, what is the guideline? How is he supposed to give out this money? Because it's taxpayers' money, it's our money. We cannot give one person a right to decide where to put our money and who to give it to.
Just a rejoinder, in the US, the president also has a donation account, but he has to issue what they call an executive instrument.
Yes.
For that year to explain how he intends to do what?
To donate those monies.
To donate the monies. And it is issued and taken to Congress, and Congress blesses it. For us here, they just say 137 Bwana Museveni, just speaker 4 billion, joke they contribute. But in those other countries, even in Kenya here, you have the president has to issue an instrument explaining that here, a pollution is iconaki. Aitosoma a pesa nangun. But here there's nothing.
Here it is at will. These monies are just stuffed into envelopes, brown envelopes, and dished out to whoever pleases the principal, the one in charge of their money. But the money is not theirs, it is taxpayers' money. And taxpayers' money is not meant for donations. Taxpayers' money is meant for service delivery. So that Ugandans can go to their health centers, to their hospitals, and get the treatment that they deserve because they have actually contributed to it. So that Ugandans can be proud when they go to a hospital, there is equipment for them to be tested. When a doctor requests that I need this test and this one in line with the complaint of this patient so that I can decide which treatment to administer. So that Ugandans can get the drugs that they require when the doctor has prescribed after investigations and discovering that what is disturbing Benson is this kind of infection, and the drug that is required is that, and it is there in the hospital, dispensary, or pharmacy. But this business of hospitals now referring patients to private facilities for checks, when government that we are giving money to facilitate for us those hospitals is failing to do it, and yet these monies are being put in the hands of individuals, the president, the speaker, and deputy, to just squander. It is so pathetic, it is so annoying, and unfortunately Ugandans have given up and they are saying, what can we do? We are powerless. But all this is stemming from mismanagement, lawlessness, and actually incompetence of the highest order.
Now, when we talk about the budget cuts, and you have told us that Uganda seem to be not minding so much, which specific areas within Parliament do you think should this budget cut affect? Because when we talk about the Speaker is already crying of salaries.
First of all, should start from the donations, because they are uncalled for. It's not necessary. Why should the Speaker be donating? For what? The role of Parliament is stipulated very clearly in the constitution of this nation. Donations is not one of them.
Yeah.
Donations are not named anywhere in our constitution. Even for the office of the president.
Even buying clothes.
They are not named anywhere here. Even buying for them the cars that we buy for them at 400,000, 400 million every time a new parliament is elected into place. It's not an issue. With all the monies that these people are paid, they should be able to buy their own cars. They should be able to fill their own cars and do the work they want to do, they're supposed to do. We should not spoon feed these guys, buy for them cars, fill their cars, give them money to donate. These uncalled for trips. One of the things that is causing us to limp economically is the useless trips that this parliament dishes to members of parliament, either by way of rewards or by way of actually bribing. You know, one of the things that eavesdropped out of this scandal was that the president was told, I know that money that we are using is actually to make your work easier in crippling opposition. We are buying them off, and buying them off is by those foreign trips. Give Bob, who is big-headed, a foreign trip of 1 week to China, and he earns those allowances. When he comes back, he will not be as big-headed as this.
But we will have also passed. We will have also passed.
and yet, yes, and yet what we are saying, Bob, we need to go and do in China is not useful to the country. It's not useful to the citizens of Uganda. He has gone there and benefited as a human being. But what has he brought back from China to implement back home here in Uganda, so that Ugandans can also now begin to grow economically to match the country that Bob went to? To do what? These foreign trips that we send our MPs to, what are they for? Is there an objective? Can we quantify and measure and say that from the time we started sending our MPs to these foreign trips on ABCD objectives, this is what we have gained as a country? Why should we sink taxpayers' money through that parliament on trips for members of parliament to just globetrot on their own excitement and personal benefits. These are the cuts that should be made. Those foreign trips, these donations, even their salaries should be actually managed. It's unfortunate that they determine their own salaries and they have that that freedom. But it's exorbitant for no good reason. For no good reason. It should be in tandem with the resources that the country has.
Okay.
You cannot spend too much money to please a few individuals who have gone to parliament when the services in the country all everywhere are suffering. Schools are suffering, hospitals are suffering, infrastructure are suffering, and yet you are pitching a lot of money.
Addition to what you are saying, Parliament of Uganda spends close to 1.2 million per day on every MP in terms of allowances, in terms of salary, in terms of daily expenditure. When you total it, all is about 1.2, depending. That's average.
Yes.
1.2 per day. You just calculate 529 MPs.
I remember General Peter Lwelu posting. Actually, he was speaking that there's money in Parliament. Let's go for a commercial break.
It is very disturbing.
Let's go for a commercial break.
And it's not only in Parliament,
yes,
but also in the executive and the other sectors.
Let's go for
when we talk of
let's
this
go for a commercial break
for the budget. It's for the budget of 2024-2025.
Let's go for a commercial break. When we bounce back, we shall continue with the discussion here on Radio 87.6 CBS FM.
Do you want to become a better?
That's the permanent secretary issue policy statement.
At Cafe Kanunu Baking
This is
Studio,
yoga.
you'll be able to learn
Now,
how to
can I talk?
bake and decorate all
Governance
ceremonial cakes,
expert.
ranging from birthday
That's the
cakes,
permanent
wedding
secretary
cakes,
issue policy
introduction
statement.
cakes and corporate cakes, cupcakes, cookies, pizza.
I thought the
donuts,
Minister of Finance was supposed
They
to.
just cornered that guy to make that statement on TV.
But he has issued now here. He has tried to. He's a technical person there. It's like a cow. The minister can direct you to go and do that. So when is he quoting a parliamentary cabinet decision?
Yes. Jovi House, opposite Stanbic Bank, or reach us on telephone numbers 0772
He's a secretary to the treasury.
521 or 0742.
They're exciting him, and you know they can push him on to make mistakes.
Become a pro at Betting.
And here,
We are not going.
Here he has accused the lawmakers that they are the ones who distort the budget. Like here, he accuses them of you allocate the money this way.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome back. I also wanted to inform you that this show is proudly sponsored by Jerusalem Institute of Health Sciences, LIRA. They are located 2 kilometers along Lira Soroti Road. They are an art of modern world nursing and midwifery, and also that art of Allied Health Institute in the country. In 2024, they have introduced a higher education access certificate in biomedical students and physical for engineering students. You can join them for July-August intake in a variety of courses, including for certificate. They have a certificate in nursing, theater techniques, midwifery, and pharmacy. They also have diploma in clinical medicine and community health. They have nursing and midwifery for direct entry and extension. They have pharmacy. They have health management and leadership. And also they have diploma in radiology. For those interested sub-region, you can come to radio here at TBS and get for yourself an admission. For parents with financial challenges, the school accepts installment payments as the students attend classes. At Jerusalem Institute of Health Sciences, they aim at passing out God-fearing, passionate and professional with high integrity people. For more information, you can call them on 0200 949 500 or 0393 249 500. You can also visit their website on www.jerusaleminstitutelira.ac.ug. Jerusalem Institute of Health Sciences, Lira, trust God for better skills. Also, you can become a pro in baking by joining Cafe Kanunu Baking Studio. They are here in Soroti City. They are located at Gwere Road, Jovi House opposite Stanbic Bank. They are still registering students for basic classes and that is master classes. So if you go there, you'll learn how to make pizza, cookies, cupcakes, dog nuts, sambosa, and that is among others. So for more information, you can reach them on 742 442 and then 417. Cafe Kanunu Baking Studio. Become a pro at baking. So you can visit them and do that for yourself. And then also, I wanted to inform you that today, not today, but I think it is going to be tomorrow, the 31st of March, Easter, that is Easter, the king comes home, will be there, Napoleon, and the guests, other guests, that is Dr. Hilary and Teacher Mpamire, and I think also they have a guest back to studio here and continue with the discussion. We have 21 minutes from the hour.
I want to inform the people of Soroti City and Soroti District and Teso. Aparamia era ya Kaisara Lukanya Uniorai na Honet. Soroti District laid a budget estimates for the financial year 2024-2025 of about 36 billion to serve the people of Soroti District. But in that budget, in that council of budget laying, we're able as Soroti District Council to finally resolve and make a council resolution for the transfer of the land title, the 8.3 acres of Opuyo. You know, government of Uganda sent some good billions of money to Soroti for construction of a city school in Opuyo Ward, Soroti City East, and for construction of a health center 3 in Otatai Ward, Soroti City East. This money was going to go back because government of Uganda has a policy: no government infrastructure or government development will be put on land that does not have certainty of ownership. And the ownership they want for every government project to be put on a certain land is land title. So the land in Opuyo was formerly titled, the title reads Opuyo Parish, Soroti Sub-County, Soroti District. And the one of Otatai reads Otatai Parish, Soroti Sub-County, Soroti County, Soroti District. Yet the land is not in the city. Therefore, we guided that Soroti District Council should sit and ensure that we transfer those titles to the city so that the money does not go back and so that the people of Soroti City East can get a city school in Opuyo and get a health center 3 in Otatai. That we did as a district council, and therefore we have now left it to COW. On Tuesday, it's the Easter holiday. COW is going to write to the city clerk, informing the city clerk and even quoting the minute extract where we resolved to give that land and change the title to the names of the city for the construction of the city school. For Puyo, we have given them all the land in a land title. Though some section of the executive wanted some part of the land state, we gave all the land because the requirement by policy of Ministry of Education, they want a minimum of 8 acres for a city school. And being 8.3, we said give them all the land. For Tatai, the minimum requirement for Health Center 3 is 5 acres. Being about 6 acres, we also gave them all. So the people of Soroti, that information is good for you and can bring hopes to the people, and it can make us know that we are working in the interest of the people. Back to why we are here. First and foremost, at first, Parliament was for leaders. Parliament became more of politicians than leaders. But now Parliament has become more of businessmen. There are more businessmen in Parliament than leaders and politicians. So akoronga temar kilate sebe oka wangina opara shakesa papa kathpato bwangor ipolo kongulu agete Parliament ngoni ara ingare no kajas o Parliament mama politicians apara sha ikaribisi kau around the politicians support to akata de pari ngare noko konyora enerla beti aburingo kanisa St Peter sajaise bati sidwe epo wakati subusi no Parliament ade pari politicians kidi ngare noko so are Parliament abu isi na isubus. So a point lo so ditinge singone kora tekara misikin ni are ikini akoro ngitunga misikin ebe e Parliament erai eke budget kwa nane peta 1 trillion
point something
a budget of it's not 900 billion like you're saying. It's now about 1 trillion, including supplementaries and everything. Konye, a budget loss Soroti district is about 36 billion. That is a mother district. An average budget of a district local government is 30 billion, which means in 1 trillion, the budget of parliament is about 40 districts budget. Nare korono tungalo kwa pa mesekin. 40 districts. Nara in 900 billion. That is 30 districts. Jao ne jakin. Nara districts of 15 billion. Jala 20 billion. Nara Soroti 36 billion. Kwenye districts ilo edisha kangun kapele biyo. Mwamilo 36 billion.
I think it's 15, 16.
Yes.
18,
So akoronga alimu njobe. Anutunga mesekin a joke. A parliament is an institution of not more than 1,000 people. A parliament wale just of parliament. Mawede parose lukumit. Nara MP za kwa nchiri DCI research nyo. Iku akijitunga unu kere. They about to tunge lukumit. Arama mawede parose lukumita kwa rakani. Konye districta, ijana kitunga lukumita kwa taunia kwa tare. So, iku olaje budget lo parliament. Imorki kiti district ane peta akai sangon. A budget le district.
Which serves about 15 million.
Yes. That's why I couldn't want to make a joke. Now, the other point you need to know, a member of parliament, enyami about 50 million per month. Igwe kijo aero PT allowances, insurance, borong kere. Now, ongolea berijo, so district local government, agar 2021 to 2026, oja aeropite chairman, aeropite executive, aeropite speaker, allowances no councillors, oja kinyet. Every budget, total budget lebet seto somo kwa peso district local government. Rice tuwa kaisara luka nyangon. Oja chairman LC5, kede si councillors kere. Ikapu lebet seto somo is about 886 million. Anu ikaridi? Ikany. Ise council lo district kero jelo C5 chairman. Lebet seto somo less than $1 billion in our 5 years of service. LOC 10 Soroti districts, district rakwa tauni akaisa kanyalu kanyauni. About that. Igwe kijo kede LOC 2s itela akaisa kanyalu ongon. Because according to Messi kina crown we job, LOC 1 is about 358 for Soroti district, 54 LOC 2s, because we have 54 parishes. That takes us to about 400, roughly 400. Now, the salary of LOC 1 and LOC 2 for a whole year is 120,000. 120,000 times about 400 is about 400 million. Now, ingara no kono chalo ilo itela ilo daro sa pugano kwa peke de council lo district ikapu litoso maite kweskero karu kere ngese nyamedo pe MP ikarekani. Now, akiro ngune koto na misiki na joke. Ipuika pule just litoso mao parliament. Ongolea berejo, i-commissioner siuni. Nare nero ni normal salary. Ni nera Papa Benson be 1.2 is a normal genuine allowance. Nera situto mo kisil. Deo beritungi una lo sa kora kapun 1.7 billion be service award. Where is such money? Where an individual is rewarded 500 million? Yes, Mathias Mpuga got money.
Before serving actually.
Yes. Ikapunu nguma puroja tungana ni cheba labe medu muntos. Ililingati tungakira daru na nyami kapunu. 500 million edo betunganan. Health Center 3 mamo tubur. Toni kapana. Ibala manifesto le na Rembo Health Center 3 anginite. Ekateme mame Health Center 3. Ekateme mame CD school. Kwa hede petunganani do petunganani. Adaka Health Center kiranyama. So epu wakati subusi no parliament. Ade parinyo ingare no. Etunganani ligwe kini aseo. Ashomingo social media. Ubukukalo dakabela. Ebaka bigwe kwetu sikapun. Kwa neba Papa Benson 17 billion. Jeti muleja ero petungangi na nwalo so parliament. How you use common sense? Ije gwaikini at 50 million, equal average of 30 million times the 12 months, that is 360 million times the karikany 1.2 billion. Ikabule beria nyamo parliament anu karikany era 1.2 billion. Konye you're putting 3 billion in an election. Analo sadumu no service award of 500 million anu aporono rikinga. Ebaka MPs ulipu mame porote kinga. Eloseta kunga stamps orijauni milioni ni tomon obuno constituency. Ikabunu lipulo parliament erako kwa koko keda inyam. So engo akota tekromisika kirongun. Now anwe sawa. LOC5 chairman. Edio LOC5 chairman lo Uganda. Enyami 2.5 million net gross pay. Ele maresto about 1.8. LOC5 chairman. LOC5 chairman ipugate district kere. Ka Soroti district ine ijera ribuku uni. MPs uni kidena beru MPs wongon angini MP nyamne bita 50 million MPs uni wongon 200 million angini park angini lap LOC5 2.5 million ongela berji borengi dobobo ationis ne redaitoni ngesebe apedo rosho nwaitu tubisirigini lwepote ne jasiche ngarenok e jasa kanino MPs dobo apedo na aitu tubisirigini anua parliament kide MPs e jakanino ka MPs so kwa na MPs owaike sibontu tubete kwesi konyo waiche ngarenok mamitu tubete ongola berji LOC5 chairman lirimi soro district chala ako tauni keda kaisa kanyalu kanyauni lirimi tela kaisa kanyalu ongon ibuku iuni enyami 2.5 million do MP do pe litemwani uni iche MPs temwani yare enyami 50 million LOC1 chairman le yaita yuara no chalo i programs la puga nkero chalo LOC2 lo itela enyami lukuni tomo na ngini lap so akiro ngunu mamera ibure na ejoko noi so parliament ekotite itunga kere mame kote parliament o waikis nare ekisilingone kota lemar eje kisile jai le balebe parliament shall determine its own allowance and salaries.
Okay, Agola Nasi Bongunit, it's the moment of the truth that has come according to Minister Musa Sisi. Yeah, it's the moment of truth. So the painful truth we have to accept as a country that we have to endure the budget cuts because of the funding that has been withdrawn. And let's go for a commercial break. When we bounce back, we shall continue with the discussion.
That's why they are very proud of my point. That's why they are very proud of their personal achievement.
You see, if a parliament of less than about 1,000 people can have a budget of 900 billion,
I've calculated here in 1 year. For TESO, we shall get 330 billion for 11 districts at an average of 30, 11 plus. But for the 43 at the cost of 55 million per month, time 11 districts, not calculated.
Is only 10,000 shillings. There will be lots of goodies to be won on that day. Sorority! Your calendar, 31st of March 2024.
Igweni kile kwa mamera itaigweni ila amoro. Be material ni gweni kile kela.
On our special, interesting and enticing radio
Dipega goyo kela ngelo kutigweni.
every Friday at 7:30
Don't argue with
to
me,
9
I'm not telling
p.m.
you.
and repeats every Saturday at
Me, I'm on radio,
1:30
but
p.m.
sure.
Proudly brought to you by Wizards Foundation. Join the conversation and together we can raise awareness and make positive change in our community.
Billion, 300. You know that in a year,
Let me complete, yes.
Mzee will give that analogy.
87.6 TP.
Ebo, yalmanu abong tumagola na rangin. Check out Bob, we are finalizing the discussion. And then also, as you finalize, and want you to connect, because you have given us this analogy, how the money is supposed to be. Now, I want you to help us sort of now understand what alternative measures can be explored to achieve this fiscal responsibility with us drastically reducing the budget and affecting its operations.
Now, I conclude in 2 minutes, then I wrap up in 1 minute with your question. You see, the other thing also is that we need to go back to Papa Benson's ideas and the other people who believe in electoral reforms.
Yeah.
You see, this problem is about electoral reforms.
Yeah.
And if we don't, let me tell you, all our problems require electoral reforms. Because you see, the parliament is of 529 MPs.
and it's going to increase.
Now, if the number of MPs is reduced, by common sense, automatically the budget also reduces. You see, donations. I am very happy Teso as the speaker, a Jonah speaker of parliament, Jonah vice president. Still talking about reforms. Mame Kota speaker, Mame Kota vice president, are a deputy speaker, are a prime minister, Nerai MP. 90% of Anita's 14 billion goes to Bukedia district. Akuru alimuna atakirina Teso na bait. ara down it so ne penny a budget an ita la 14 billion 90% of that budget e pa kini bukedia nare run ita umani mpino bukedia ita speaker aituba seo e betanga rabatin anga ringina even the vice president with due respect her budget of donations 90% kata kui
because that's her constituency.
Yeah, nara go it around mame koto osekuna ya a speaker araba vice president ara dio minister le go it
emo ya vote
nara itunga lukere era itunga likotai litoso mighty budget silwa pugan nara speaker era no Uganda kere tikwa na 14 billion ale masi Uganda kere era ngesi no teso ingi sikwa na be out of 14 billion rejected speaker Anita Among i district ne Ponto Soroti district idi elosto si Serere idi elosto si kata idi elosto si Kabremai Dara Kalaki e mama unibore limuno konyingi sibe isirigindi aloma sibu kedia irosi adumuno be out of a budget donations 90% of the donations have gone to Bukedia. Why? Kadera Joda egoiti yang inabobo next time kwapa MP ebereto some budget ngonanwe campaign so e budget donations ito so might tunga reject donations ilu kwape campaign tool ayanga na rabatini aykorango risirigini agwele bora nguru kerito so mai kapundu apugan so ekoto electro enga koronga iguo kede papa Benson kida kake jare kida kakanini kida akajara kere ebe ikoto netemuni kina tokishon ni politics lo Uganda ekoto yauna ibore back electoral reforms na so did a president osekunai mama chama ine president asekune dio member of parliament around a vice president around a speaker borong kero lemarai osekuna itunga ne mama ijeni na iguo do jali mor bikoro ja iguo pap alemar bojoda nin teteri e budget le raila pugan le jana kina kwa puok opai kere le jana kina kwa puok mamere jana kini constituencies ministers have become constituency ministers the vice presidents all these people with due respect it also might remushonu and weak district and that's why you see even Tesone ingiti yobe abatina do apoto Soroti ne mama minister abatina di apoto Soroti city ikidioko then we MPs will made it budget sa ngunu a right personal friends of itunga ngunu mamara bitungi meda ete ijekino jimilo na kaisa kan jekino jimilo na kaisa uni umeda ejo kwape MP ditunga lo constituency kon mami meda ete so akiro ngune koto na enera straight e koto na enera krono abate ardown itesabaka bijo no boro konyingo leji borolu elosete ne lomdoto tunga ngunu mamero sire tesokere so anu angunu ekote electoral reforms o yaunai anyune betidishare nambali MPs number 2 irajo MP paiki kwape nyo MP mambo jese kuno jara una minister mambe se kuno jo even in Kenya mamjira une speaker le parliament lo Kenya iraje MP ese kuna tunganan le mamata point na iguo ese kuna tunganan le baka bejo kwa nako na swam iraja tubunane ijako na swamu na erukone ropitilo. So electoral reforms is a key thing to reduce this budget. It is a number la MPs every district ya bera dope kilo dope ido otemara ebe kwa na MP le rai MP mamara una minister abaloma ro cabinet iboro ngunu kere are well guided in the electoral reforms.
Okay.
So engoberi nena go to ngobe electoral reforms ulu ipuake kiro ingaran kiro nkede kroninyo no ipu. Then the other thing and bala you to a budget. I'll talk about donations and what and the electoral reforms. The other thing that we need to do, even our constitution must be amended. Ijekte kisilo Uganda e parliament hapo donation ipu. Itejo MPs ipu elo maso parliament. Itijete LOC5s, itijete district councillors na ara ijete kwesibe iju kunikapu no local government. These people will contest against them. So MPs bobi toso mate ekisilingoni of appropriation. Iteje parliament iyasi kapunungini para ni yate budget LOC5. Let me tell you, district councillor kango anyami ngo ilikuna kwa takira kaisa kanyara lokany mamjipira chamu 175 per month e gross right 250 do yenge monetary ngange district kere in the finance committee alosi ngai konya nyami ngo 175 MP liboyo Kampala ngese nyami na kaisa kany umambo riswama yi so anu angunu ekote parliament ole mara pedori nyin actually krolim na ibe since the allowances of council in a district is determined by the local revenue. Even the MPs of that district, their allowances must be determined by the local revenue of your district. Ikapundi lo meneto district kona bule Kampala otachi joke the revenue lo muna kai nara kwesi mame poda ngarakina ituke solo kwesi inyameta inyam kwesi iso maswam so ekotobo bonenda ijola kina kisilingon anwa chama ni MPs da they feel the pain. If they are not mobile otache tungana tukite solo lo district kon merata marebe arai e kansalo nyamli kidio ko nyame mpilepo na wasi ado anwapa akoto ngai lip ebe itidishara ikapun ke privileges pe jaso parliament akoto ngalimo kinijo iborija kiti tunga itejo LOC5 echo no LOC5. The chairman is the political head of the district, chairman of the executive is the owner of the district budget 36 billion konye mamjiti reja korokora
Okay.
mamtunga lipo koro sarau na lo C5 nare mamiti sirigin konyi tunga kere kula lo C Kampala why do you think kolo mamtunga marete ya lo C Kampala nara it was a normal thing ile tunga na la musi bib ile mtra be chwa trubet ulobiri jogwe kibere sangina konye kwa na 80% of the people who are in parliament are not there to serve the people. The privileges we just nyina epuakata. So one of the ways to cut the budget and reduce the attraction to parliament, to remove those very luxurious things, a speaker, imoro kanto mnakany, 14 billion budget, iboro nguno lemarai. Tetere tungana ne jenebe, ijo iloste janaki ni tunga, merai mo isirigin. So those are the things we should do.
Okay.
So I want to submit and say, I stand firm with my two legs, with my spirit, body and soul, that the biggest solution to what we're discussing is electoral reforms, and if that is not addressed before the next election, we are going to waste time. I thank you.
Okay, the permanent secretary and the secretary to the Treasury, Ramadan Gobi, says Parliament has deviated from government official consolidated measures such as suspension of travels abroad and the purchase of new cars, among others. I want to use a quotation from him. I told you here on TV, that was when he was appearing on NBS, that we are not buying cars. A week later, Parliament was parading the cars of former speakers. I told the Parliament that it's a statutory institution and I respect it so much. They said they would never do it again. That is what Gobi said. Now, I want to bring in Papa Benson as we think of picking some discussion on SMSs and call. Now, we all know that the role of Parliament, one of the key roles also they do is to help on issues of accountability, transparency, and democracy in Uganda. With the budget cuts coming, do you think this will help, or Parliament is going to continue doing their roles as necessary?
No, let me tell you, it's not about money. Like Boba said, if we embrace the reforms, sincerely, for me, government has failed us. Atuboka a parliament on a choa. Kesa beta ire budget. Kesa beta nyubone be to sama sirigin or job. Kesa beta nyubone be mami chancha ni sirigin. Kesa beta nyubone be iboro ponoli tolo sere ajana kina tekere elo so job. That's why they call it a people's parliament. Parliament ne iriamu na tekera rab a korokoro e mongole to bita a tem. So for me it is not about how privileged they are. There are parliaments across the world. If you looked at the parliament in Denmark, they don't pay them anything. The only thing they get for you is what they call them a wardrobe. Well, I know you consulting the napijo. Raja konsomai chaka regalo parliament. Idolo jong ni longari on nape suti le lomartai. Arabet. Idauni jo jakinen egelare ni losi gere polikore. And that's the only thing. And you go back. And they are working. But here it has become more lucrative to be an MP. That it's actually being a politician at that national level is more profiting than even being a director of any institution, even being an engineer, a doctor. Now even doctors are abandoning, as some people are abandoning their work and they are running to parliament. I think to me, the parliament is letting us down. I was trying to calculate here. TESO is receiving about 330 billion in a year, average, through appropriated tax monies. But of that money, our MPs are taking 28.380 billion annually. The 43 MPs in a year will that's about only 43 of them. $1 billion in Akaisaralu Kanyauni is what government spends on the 43 MPs who hail from TESO. You can imagine. If I come to Soroti County, I don't know what's the budget. How many counties, sub-counties are there? There are about 4 sub-counties.
Soroti County has 4 sub-counties.
4 sub-counties. I don't know the budget of those sub-counties. But 660 million will be used on their MP. You can imagine what is the budget of a sub-county. It's about
40 million.
40 million. 40 times 4.
160.
That's 160. You can imagine isirigi le dumneti li tosoma pugana neja MP catch just one MP is 4 times no dumneti temwanangu. So if the 4 sub counties in Soroti County are getting 40 million each, that's 160, and we are spending 660 million on their MP. Down. Who is benefiting from this? So I think we really need the reform. Line Apollo, Yaiteroni, Araukana, Asomnara MP. That's why you see them showcasing their private achievements. I was wondering, how can somebody within the first 100 days, you have bought a water bowser, you have bought what, you are suddenly a donor. Biani campaigning and the morning ngunu luichan. Konyela at the first 100 days, ipedoja gwene water bowser, ipedoja gwene cholongu, ipedoja gwene na simiti puku akwatari, ipedoja yao de kanta. What a miracle is there? So 100 days. What a miracle is there? What pushing for policy? That's why I want to thank the MP who said every constituency must have an official ambulance. And I think I am very happy with that guy. He moved in a party. But this is miraculous money. According to this is miraculous money kotona chot. Somebody could be mortgaging us.
Okay, thank you so much. Yalama no ata kirna rija pokit pero jalo mto mosimu enoti kanyare wongon kanyare uni kanya ngondo piti kanyo nara we nota kwa tare 92633. I have some 3-4 messages here to read out. Somebody says thank you so much. Actually on YouTube somebody says Simiu Walter, good morning, thanks for the show. And then Flavia Idepu says, good morning, Teso Obusi, Mame Kitle Mongo, Epone Loai Pup, Akironu Ore, Mami Pala Rete. That is why there is a lot of corruption in Uganda. And then I have another message here. Yes. Okay, I was trying to connect, but I think my network was disturbing. The members of parliament are complaining that they are not able. They are complaining that they may not be able to do their work if this money is cut. Let them come back home and allow those who will want to be there and can do work without being paid a lot of money to go.
That's a good point. You resign.
And then another message here. It's a long one. I'm trying to look at how to cut it down for someone to understand. Let me first speak this as I see how to, because the long one. Hello TBS, names I will call you from. Ngainera? Radio. Yes, Ngakiro.
There's a lot of corruption in the parliament. Okay, go with the Mr. Kwesenson. The better is done in the parliament. It doesn't matter how many
Thank you so much for your views. Yes, hello. Hello. Sorry about that. It's silent. I don't know. I was telling you about the message. I want to ask the members of parliament to at least accept to work without questioning. We voted them not for money. And then somebody says, actually, time has come for the government of Uganda to downsize parliament to save money from government programs, for government programs that will impact the people of Uganda at large. That is James Ongole. And I want to stop there because my time is fast spent. We have only 4 minutes to live here. I want to kickstart with Jakayati Boba Wine. Jakayati Boba Wine, what is your final, or what are your final remarks in terms of this discussion? I have someone online, but I want us to just stop there. Yes, Bob.
First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me for this talk show. I want to thank the people who have shared with me the talk show, and I want to thank the listeners and those who have called especially. I want to say that my way forward is that we must go and ensure that these electoral reforms are actualized, so that it addresses very, very many issues, both in the constitution, in parliament, and in government generally. Our leadership and politics of Uganda requires holistic changes that can be put in place legally through electoral reforms.
Okay.
Secondly, I want to say that let's focus on service delivery. Let's focus on serving the Ugandans. Let's reduce the luxurious lifestyles in parliament, so that we don't attract many people to parliament. It is the MPs who have attracted problems themselves. If they made laws that are favorable, people will not come to them. They will now ensure government buys ambulance, they don't buy ambulance. They will ensure that programs that make the people richer and better come, so that people build their own churches, build their own things. They will ensure that the government sends money for classrooms, for teachers, so that they don't call them for PTA meetings to build classrooms. So MPs must focus on their real work.